Now, this is a verbs-based question, and the reason why I know it's a verbs-based question is I'm paying attention to what's changing in my answer choices. I go from has been to were, are, and is. Those are all different forms of the verbs, so I need to be ready to check for two things when I'm dealing with verbs on the ACT. The first thing is tense, which talks about when something happened, and the other is agreement, which is going to get into our singular versus our plural alignment with our subject. So when the ACT is asking me to work on a sentence of what is most grammatically acceptable, almost every single time, I only have to worry about the sentence that I'm in. So I'm going to read period to period where my underline is, paying attention to the clues that I have. Stories such as the heroic epic of Sandiata and the dramatic poem The Kudaman of Palawan has been passed on orally for centuries. So when I've got that verb underlined, the first thing I want to pay attention to is where is my subject? And the test writers are working really, really hard here to distract you from what the subject is. And our subject happens to be stories. It's the fact that we're saying such as the heroic blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. This is just added detail, but they're examples of stories and don't directly tie in because it's not saying the heroic epic or the poem this, it's saying stories such as these things. So I want to ignore all of that detail because it's just there to distract me. And I need to recognize that my subject is coming in as plural. It's not a single story, but it's saying stories. So then I want to identify my verbs as singular or plural. One of the ways that we can do that is we can always test with more simplistic pronouns, he versus they. Would I say he has been or they has been? Well, answer choice A is has been, and I'm going to recognize that I would say he has been. So I can identify that verb as singular. It does not align with the plural noun or plural subject of stories, so I'm going to eliminate it. Let's test our next answer choice with our simple pronouns again. Would I say he were or would I say they were? Good. I would say they were. So I'm going to recognize that this is coming in as plural and I can keep that answer choice in place. Let me clean up my writing just a little bit there for you. Plural. Probably easier to read now. Awesome. All right. So let's move on to answer choice C. He are or they are. Again, we've got another plural answer choice coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that. And then we can look at the last one. He is or they is. We have a singular verb coming in here because I would use it with he, which is a singular pronoun. All right, I'm down to a 50-50 opportunity now. However, I still have the opportunity to come back and take a look at my tense. In this case, we have a time reference clue that it's been passed on orally for centuries. That means it's been happening for a very long time, and I need to choose the verb were because that's going to align with my past tense of happening for centuries. Or passed on orally for centuries is another clue to come through and identify that. So when you see those verbs changing in your answer choices, check your tense, check your agreement, be ready to check both in the same question. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you soon.